I look at videos literally every day to comb through and find the most interesting videos, and that's what we'll be looking at. To start with, let's look at one that has been really popular with users. All right, so let's take a look here. This is from Palermo, Italy, from Monreale or Monreale. So this person said that they saw these three silver triangular shapes. We only recently got this video. That's why I'm covering it now. However, they say this event took place on October 4th, 2024. So let's take a look here. And just for the listeners to tell you a little bit more about what we're looking at is you do see, this palm tree in the foreground. In the distance, then you see some hills. You see one hill, then another kind of larger hill, kind of cliff behind it that's more kind of in shadow. Over the hill, you see these three luminous lights, and it kind of looks like three objects that are over the hill. However, I think they're further back in the background and actually on that cliffside or on that mountain that's in the background. It's hard to say for sure. When I look at videos like this, often videos that have a hill or a mountain in the background, the objects typically turn out to be something that is on the hill in the background. Here, the hill is in shadow, potentially three shiny objects that are reflecting light that are not in shadow, so they look more stunning. But yeah, there's no movement in them, so that's what makes me think they're not floating. Now, the palm tree isn't moving either, so there's no wind. If they were balloons or something like that, that would be possible, but you would probably see at least some movement. But yeah, very interesting video. And this one's gotten a lot of attention with a lot of people discussing it on the app. So, really interesting video. Love to know what you think. Moving on from Palermo, Italy, let's take a look at the next video. This one is from Maryland, Columbia, Maryland. This was on April 15th of this year. So just a couple weeks ago at almost 9 p.m. Now, immediately, most of you are probably going to know what this is, but not everybody does, surprisingly. And that's why I wanted to show it to make sure and educate people, but also because it's so stunning. It's such an amazing video, and we live in such weird times. So let me describe this for the listeners. What you see is someone on the side of the road, it looks like, because there's some street lamps, and it looks like maybe they even pulled over to get this video, which is great. I'm glad they did that. Hopefully, be safe if you do that. And they're filming up above in the sky, and you see multiple small dots of lights in a perfect row moving together. Just a bunch of them, like probably 50 or 60 of them. These, of course, are Starlink satellites. Some of them are closer to each other than others, but this kind of shows you what I've talked about before, where when the Starlink are launched, they can be really close to each other and kind of look like one object. So you'll see this almost looks like, there are objects in a long string. Some are closer than others. And when in a couple spots where they're really close, they almost look like one kind of longer object when they're not. These are multiple objects in a row. But look at that. And this is what a Starlink train looks like. Now, I haven't seen this. A lot of people have. Of course, a lot of people submit these to Enigma, so I've got a few of them. But this is one of my favorites and definitely one of the best we've gotten recently. But look how cool that is. Isn't that weird? But yeah, that is Starlink. And I just wanted to show that to the audience for those of you who haven't seen that before. For you listeners, look out for this. It's something that is fairly common. And a lot of people see these. I haven't yet, and I can't wait for my first time to see a Starlink train. This one is Enigma 312305. And remember, I put the links to all of these in the show notes so you can go look at these. Also, if you get the app, some of these are in that content feed, and what we call the content feed, but it's the good videos in the first tab. We usually don't put much Starlink in there unless they're really extraordinary. But moving on, this one is a little bit more mysterious, and I don't know what this one is. So this is small white dots moving quickly. This is in Rossendale, England. So this is in the United Kingdom. The explanation says the short 3-second video you have to watch in slow motion. It's just a flicker on normal speed. 40 to 50 drones were spotted. I don't see that many, all coming from the same direction, headed the same way. They moved from a hill around 2 miles away to the next town over in 5 to 8 seconds, somewhere under 100 meters high, some few hundred maybe. It's hard to tell. I have lots of videos filming for a while. So it's really interesting here. A couple things about it is, first of all, what the witnesses describe versus what's in the video. And I don't feel like the description fits very well. Still, this video is really interesting. We see essentially someone zooming in and out of these three white objects that are moving together. They are obviously, it looks like at their house. It almost looks like they're on a hill because they are at level with like the second story of the houses down the block. There's trees in the way, and you can see rooftops as they are filming these lights. And this video is only 37 seconds, so it's pretty quick. But it almost looks like a triangular object with three lights at the end of it kind of moving together. Now, this is a daytime sighting. The last one was a nighttime sighting. And this one's during the day. So you can see these three white objects, but you can't really see anything in between them. So you don't know that they're all together. In fact, I would imagine they're not, because you don't see a solid object between them. You just see these three dots. At first, they're kind of level. And then as it moves, they're not. What's weird about this is I don't think it's balloons, because these lights seem to be self-luminescent. They don't seem to be reflecting light. There are clouds in the background, so you can tell that these are under the clouds, although they disappear into the clouds. So that gives you kind of an idea of the height. The clouds are very thick that they go into, and they don't seem to slow down at all when they do move into these clouds. So to me, they don't move like balloons. Now, the witness assumed they were drones, which is kind of a weird assumption to make, I think. I don't know why they make that assumption. It could be three drones flying together. It's a possibility, each with their own light. I don't know about that, but this is a really interesting sighting. Now, I posted this one online, and I got some responses. I said, what do you guys think this is? One person said Chinese balloons, has to be. And I understand why this user is saying that, because, they are self-luminescent, but Chinese balloons are usually orange, because the lights that the skin of the object is usually an orangey color or red color, and then you've got a flickering light, which is also kind of a warm color that illuminates those lights. So usually it's kind of a warm color. These seem very, very white. So I don't know that these are Chinese lanterns, but yeah, really, really interesting video. The movement of the lights is just kind of strange. It does kind of move like it's one object, but you can see there's not an object in between them. It's clear daylight. So really weird, really great video. I like this one. I can't figure this one out, so I would love your suggestions and let me know. This is Enigma 312486. Again, you can find a link to these in the show notes, but a really strange video from England. I'm not sure what the heck that is. So those are my Enigma videos for the week. Let me know what you think they are. And if you are on the Enigma app and you've got some cases that you've looked at and you're like, what the heck is this? And you would like some more feedback, feel free to share that in the comments and we will take a look.